What's going on, devoted geeks? Welcome to Geek Devotions, a show from a couple of devoted geeks who are devoted to letting people know that they are loved. You may notice that there's not going to be a lot of loud and demonstrous things coming from this episode, because today, guys, I want to talk to you guys about something serious. I want to really hone in on a pretty major topic. Over the last several weeks, Celeste and I have been involved with a variety of things and ministries who are dealing with people who are suffering from depression, loneliness, and people who are struggling with thoughts of suicide even. And that began to weigh on my heart. And in the last, several months, there have been news story after news story of people that they're going through hard things and they've given into those things and taken their lives. There are stories of pastors even, men of God, who run major churches and seem to have everything together, that have given up on life. Recently, even Matt Pat from Game Theory and Film Theory did a video, and we'll have a link in the description down below, talking about one of his good friends, somebody who's been part of his team for a very long time, who unfortunately lost their battle with depression. The reality is, this is a very major and very serious situation. Sometimes people don't realize the gravity of it. It's become one of those things where it's out of sight, out of mind. And because it's so unpleasant of a topic to really grab hold of, we sometimes ignore it. But the stats on it are staggering. And I want to share a few of those things with you guys. These are stats that I got from our friends over at Victims and Villains. Suicide is currently the 10th leading cause of death. 123 suicides occur daily. 500,000 occur internationally every single year, which means that's one death every 40 seconds. Those are heartbreaking statistics. And one of the things that I've found over the years of working with people, students and whatnot, is that one of the reasons why these things happen is because people are afraid to say something. They're afraid to talk about what they're really dealing with. Maybe they're scared of being mocked for what's happening. Maybe, unfortunately, they've cried wolf one too many times. Maybe there's a stigma about it, that if they say something, they'll be considered weak, and that something will be taken away from them that they love and hold dear. Whatever it is, though, none of that is really worth your life. Your life is precious, and God did create you with a purpose, and He loves you and He cares about you. And maybe some of you guys are watching this, you're questioning that. The fact that He loves you is probably the reason why you clicked on this video. Maybe you just randomly found us, and you're like, well, what is this? And all of a sudden got really deep. I don't think it's an accident that the Lord brought you here. So I can tell you this one thing, that is that you are loved. And there's someone that cares about you. Yes, I care about you. Celeste here cares about you, but God cares about you. And He has so much more for you than what the enemy has for you. Worry and doubt have a plan and a vision for your life, and it is not as great as what God has for you. So what do we do? How do we handle all these things? First off, let me make sure this is very clear. I am a licensed minister, but I am not a licensed professional counselor. I don't have a counseling degree. I'm not giving you medical advice, but I am offering advice to someone that's dealt with certain things, that's struggled at times with some thoughts of depression and loneliness and worry and doubt. And there's some things that helped get me through. In the scriptures, we're encouraged to do certain things. One of those things is in Philippians chapter 4, verse 8, and it says this: finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. Sometimes when people get into this rut and the depression starts to take hold and the doubt starts to take hold and the loneliness starts to take hold, all we can do is dwell on those things. You see it all the time. People are like, well, I'm in a bad mood, so I like to listen to XYZ music that is very reflective of that mood. Guys, that's not helping you. Well, I'm sad and depressed, so I want to go watch these sad, depressing movies. That's not helping you. If anything, that's feeding the depression, that's feeding the doubt, and it's causing more issues in your spirit and in your body. So instead, I want to encourage you to do the opposite. Think about the good things in life. Think about your blessings that God's given you and how he's provided for you in the past. I know that in the moment it seems like that there's nothing good for you, but hold on to those good things he's done for you in the past. We've talked a lot on our channel lately about the words that we say to people and remembering our past and all these things. And I don't think it's an accident. I think the Lord has been structuring this to say this to you today is remember the things that God's given you. Remember those positive words given to you. And for those that are around you, speak positive to them because maybe they're struggling. Maybe they're on an edge where they're really contemplating suicide. Maybe that they're really struggling with depression and loneliness. Your kind words could change things forever for them. Counterly, your negative words could change for them in a very negative way. Many years ago, I was going through a phase where I was really struggling with questions of doubt. I was questioning who I was and what I was doing and if what I was doing really had an effect. There were people in my life who would kind of encourage me. There were people in my life who I don't think they realized they weren't encouraging. They maybe were adding more to the stress and the pressure of things. And there was a night where I had to sit down and I just began to pray. And I began to think on things that were good and lovely and pure. And that was who God was. I began to meditate on who he was. I began to get into the word. And that night, the Lord really did lead me to a particular passage that I literally had never read before. Now, I'm a licensed minister. I've been in church since the age of 15 by this point. So I was probably 10, 15 years into my life. No, about 10 years into being a Christian. And I never read this one verse in Psalms. It was actually a whole chapter, Psalm 121. And there was something about it that really spoke to me and gave me strength. And there's this one particular verse, right about verse 5. And I love the way that it's read in the complete Jewish version of the Bible. It says this, Adonai is your guardian. At your right hand, Adonai provides you with shade. It's a small change in the vocabulary there of calling Adonai a guardian. Many translations say it's something different, but the crux of it, the idea in the original Hebrew of that word really is that God is a guardian. He guards you and he's there with you and he provides shade when it feels like the world is beating down on you and it's wearing you out. He provides the shade that brings comfort and peace. And so I want to encourage you, turn to God, turn to his son Jesus. Let Jesus bring you peace. Let him bring you hope, because there is hope. There is a way out, and it's not through sacrificing your own life. It's through the one who already sacrificed his for you, Jesus, the Christ. Again, this wasn't very uppity and loud and stuff. There's no question of the week or anything like that. Just a couple of things. One, we're going to have some resources down below for you guys to connect to if maybe you're struggling with some things. I want to encourage you to check out victimsandvillains.net, which is a fantastic website which my friend Josh of Victims and Villains Podast runs. And he has a lot of great resources. Some of those you see on the screen now. There is actually a suicide prevention Lifeline. It's 1-800-273-8255. You can also text to 741-741. The main thing is you guys just need to say something. You need to get out and talk to somebody and let them know you're hurting so they can help you. The enemy wants to isolate you. That's his biggest tool. And if he can make you feel like nobody will listen to you and you isolate yourself even more, he has you in his clutches. But if we talk, we open dialogue, something can be done. On our website, geekdevotions.com, over the next few weeks, we're going to be releasing some resources ourselves. My sister, who currently is a PLPC, but here very shortly within the next 6 months or so, she'll be becoming a full licensed professional counselor. She's going to be releasing some articles on our website about dealing with things like loneliness and depression. And one thing I'm really excited about is an article about when to know that you need professional help. There is a line where we need to talk to somebody professionally and let them help us professionally. It does change things. So I encourage you guys, check out the links down below, check out the people I talked to you about, and we'll be releasing information about those articles very, very soon. I love you guys and appreciate you. And don't forget, stay devoted, peace, and love.